Good morning. I'm Victoria Savage, Nurse Savage on your side, and we're having coffee with my beautiful moose mug. Very much a mountain theme. I'm going to be in the mountains at the end of, in the middle of next week, so I won't be on Friday of next week. I will be on Friday of this week, which is the 4th of July. And in our country, that's a celebration of freedom, which many people right now are not feeling the energy of. Many others are, because we're all different. We have different perspectives. So today's theme came just as, I thought it was one thing, and it probably still is in the overarching message. Excuse me. I am going to have a sip. I've already been out and watered today because we had a very hot day yesterday, and I woke up with a start at 5 o'clock because I realized I hadn't watered the two end hanging plants on my front porch, and one of them suffers greatly and quickly. And so I jumped up and went down and watered them, and they're fine. But then I finished watering everything else. So we're having another hot one, but it's going to be less than 100. So there's no complaint from me here. Hoping you're all doing well, navigating some of this craziness that's coming. And what does Full Metal Jacket have to do with spirituality? Some of you may understand the reference to a movie that has to do with bullets. Full Metal Jacket is a thing, and I know it has to do with bullets and war. And many of you may go to it makes sense because we just, bombed Iran, and we are going to war. We're in a war. We're at a war with the government. The government's at war with us. We're at war with each other. But that's really not what this is about. It'll unfold here. But the first deck that wanted to come through is a very fun deck. It's called The Kitchen Tarot by Dennis Fairchild. Susan Shie, 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 and Dennis Fairchild. This is a fun deck. Great morning to you, Susan. I was thinking yesterday of calling you too. I had a lovely day yesterday. My youngest daughter and her family came over. We went up to the reservoir, swam, paddleboard, had a fun time, then came home and celebrated her birthday. It was a busy day. So let's see what the Kitchen Tarot wants to offer as the beginning of this Full Metal Jacket reading. Good morning to you too, Julia. This is the calendar. And these cards are so busy and so full and so fun. The calendar has to do with the moon. It is in other decks, the moon, which is very much, I love this because I knew that this was a message already about the feminine. And that's what the moon is representative of, is the feminine energy and constant shifting. The feminine energy is pushing through now to rise into the balance of power in the world. We have been, as the feminine, we are all, those of us who are in the feminine this time may not be in a feminine or a female body, but we are holding that feminine energy, and we've been masculine in other lives. So we're not male bashing here. We're not even masculine bashing. Things have happened. It is time for us to balance those two energies. And it really begins with us balancing the masculine and feminine inside of us. The Mythical Goddess Tarot is the other, another. We've got a couple other decks that are coming through for today. And, very much this reading is not mincing words, not coddling, not petting you because, you're kind of scared. You may feel awful. You may be worried about the state of the world. It's like, nope, this is about you. This is about you balancing you. This is about you owning the parts of you that are out of balance, looking to it and accepting those parts as okay because they make up who you are. The next card that came up was Pleiadian Star Goddess, the star. And look at this. This is all about that spiritual, feminine, intuitive aspect. But I'm going to pull their meaning of this one. The star. This is XVI, purifier, the star. The star goddess of the Pleiades has been called by many names and in many cultures throughout time, such as Alcoin, Matariki, Holok, Miyumko, and Maya. Okay, I've never heard of any of those goddess names. She is the central sun of the galaxy, the very life force around which the sun and solar system revolve. The star goddess is the gift of life and destiny. Her celestial hands reaching out in blessing to everyone on earth. Her hair is loose, a symbol of her free flowing power and strength. Again, that feminine energy, that strength energy. Women are strong. The feminine is incredibly strong. And we have been in a state of captivity, of domination, of slavery, of ownership for millennia. And this is what we're breaking free of and helping those systems that have kept the feminine locked up and contained and unable to exercise her full strength. Those systems are breaking down, and it is a war type energy. It is a battle that is going on to find balance, not like battles that have been throughout history where there's always this one side comes up and they win and then they dominate. This is a battle for balance. This is what we want to keep holding. This is what we want to keep putting out into the world. And we want to do it unapologetically and not with the, oh yeah, I know this makes you scared and I'm so sorry for that. No, this is pull up your big girl panties, get yourself out there and do what you came to do in this world. We are done with the coddling. Oh yeah, I know everything makes me scared too. So we have to go away. We can't do, it's like bullshit. It is like, no, this is dig deep in the strength, draw on your higher power strength, step into the truth of who you are and what you came to be. Quit letting others jack you from one side to the other. The information overload is too much. You want to get just the snippets of what is going on in this world, which is challenging at times to even look at. You want to know, but do not let others' opinions of it shape yours. You want to go inward, finding your healing higher self to come through, work on those shadows that are coming up from you. Live in the moment. This is the truth of today. These are the Carolyn Mace, and if or Carolyn Mace, if you've ever listened to Caroline Mace, she's a no nonsense, not going to coddle, very straightforward oracle. And I love that. She's also going to say, well, that's being stupid. I mean, she's going to call you out on your bullshit, just as I am. It's like, no, it is time for you to quit whining about what you don't like, start creating what you do like. So live in the moment. This is Caroline's message. On this day, strive to live in the moment. Only speak about positive things in your life and avoid bringing up the past, especially negative memories or situations. Your goal to experience how difficult it is to live in the present. Healing is rapidly enhanced when you're focused in the now. Because again, as creators, good morning, Johanna, we are constantly creating whatever is in front of us. And if we keep focusing on the past and on the fear and all the times we were wounded and how people misunderstood us and blah, 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 that is where our energy goes. One of the things that's here somewhere, oh, here it is, that I wrote down, I listened to some gentleman the other morning, and there were 4 things you wanted to focus on first thing in the morning. And now he's got 6, and now he's got 10. It's like, I haven't listened to the others because we're going to get so much information overload if we keep deeming that everybody else's opinion is how we want to go. So get a little and then take what resonates. What resonated with me was 4, and the rest of them is like, no, I'm not listening to that every day. I realize this is your thing, but it's not my thing. The first one, and the one that we're talking about today, is I am the architect of my inner world. The more you focus on what you can't do and all the wrongs done to you and poor little me, go to that little child that is keep bringing up this past powerlessness, and do the healing work they need. Heal them, hold them to you, tell them how special you are. There's some really great ways to work healing for yourself. One is I wrote those down. Things to say to yourself in the morning as well, but things that are healing. You belong here. Tell this little child, you are safe. You are enough. I forgive you. All of these are helping things that will help heal that little child. And this is where a great deal of our energy goes. There was a saying years ago that went, the things that kept you alive as a child will kill you as an adult. You have to let go of that childhood focus, that childish perspective, by going in, holding that child to you, whatever age that injury happened or those injuries. And some of you have lived really rough childhood lives. Others of us have lived kind of weird ones, and others of us lived idyllic ones. That does not mean that we don't have inner wounds and stuff that we need to heal. I mean, those of us who haven't lived such big ones. One of the perspectives that I've been listening to on a group is that we come in with a certain poundage of karma into the world. Karma is what we wanted to bring forward to learn. And 90% of it is hugged away, sung away, loved away, caressed away in the first year of life. And what is left is for us to work out this lifetime and learn from. This is what we chose to bring forward. So the things, the lifetime you have led, regardless of its framework, was what you chose to bring in to heal and learn from in this lifetime. Some of you brought in 500 pounds. So all but 90% of it, I mean, all but 10% of it is gone. So you have, let's just say you brought in, I don't know. Anyway, you've got 100 pounds left. Another person brought in 5,000 pounds. So they've got 1,000 pounds left. And others didn't get a lot of it hugged away and sung away. So there are more poundages for them to live through. This is that gauge of the challenges of the time of life that they've had. But it's not your circus, not your monkeys. You can focus there and go, yeah, but what about those poor people? What about, can you do anything about it? You can shed love on them. You can shed healing on them. But it is time for you to own your own shit and do you. You can't really do anybody else, but you really can do you. And when you do you, you bring your power through, you bring your healing energy to the world in whatever way that is. You get to be the totality of what you really came in to do at this time in life, because you chose to come in now. The next group of cards that came up was the Gateway Oracle, which is really a fun, beautiful. Awakening ancient wisdom, deep inner knowing is emerging within me. This is so true on the, those sentences, you belong here, you're enough, I forgive you, and I don't remember the other one. I love you, maybe, whatever. They're empowering statements that get you into the truth of who you are. Deep inner knowing is emerging in me. When you choose to stay in that victim powerlessness energy, you aren't helping anybody, and you're certainly not helping yourself. You are bringing more of that into the world and more reasons for people not to be able to handle. And this sounds really uncaring. It is not. All of what I just said sounded uncaring. It is because I care, and because I care with the tough love, not going to coddle you. There's been too much of that in the last 30 years, the last 25 years, maybe. We've raised a generation of younger folks who can't handle anything because they've not had to handle anything. Parents keeping them from the realness of the fact that sometimes you fall down in life and you scrape your knees and it hurts. Yep. But what you learned was that don't run on the concrete, whatever those lessons were, that the helicopter type of parents, and there's a whole generation of them, have done with their kids, kept them out of the reality of life so that when they face reality, they can't help it. I remember when I was in Hawaii a couple times ago, I was walking through the, very touristy part with all these stores, and it was slow. It was midweek, and I went into this one store, and this one little gal was in there, and oh my, I mean, it was like, oh, honey, you just whined to the wrong woman. I said, how are you today? She goes, well, I'm not very good. And I said, oh, well, what's wrong? Well, I'm working and I'm going to school, and in school, they expect me to be in class at a certain time. And it was like, oh, girl, you just whined to the wrong woman. And I just looked at her and I went, so you think school is supposed to revolve around you? What about all the other students in school? What about the fact that everybody in this world, pretty much, general statement, had to work and go to school, had to support themselves, had to take care of themselves? It's time for you to grow up. That's what life is. Life does not revolve around you and your inability to cope with things. Suck it up, put your big girl panties on, and get to work on what you need to do to create more of what you desire and less of what you don't. The poor little girl, she was kind of blown away. I did it with maybe a little less directness, but that was basically the message I gave her. I mean, to have the audacity to think that school should not require of you what it requires of everyone else, but you should still get that grade. It's like everyone getting a trophy for showing up. It's like you show up because there's something there for you. And we need to be teaching our children this. We need to be allowing them to suffer the consequences of their action, just like we all did. That then breeds personal responsibility and an ability to work through the stuff that we really wanted to work through when we came into this lifetime, which then allows through us to flow what we came to bring. Then the next card that came up was child design. That's where the healing wants to happen, because this is where, again, what didn't happen at that first year of life is where we start to unfold in the learning and in the gifts we came to bring. But when we don't allow these children to unfold, then we create the inability to do anything because they can't handle it. So it is really time for us, as Caroline would say, to get to work, create more of what we want, be the healers within ourselves. And that does mean at times you identify things. I did this, I have this lovely group of friends that are in a partnership together, and they're just amazing in what they do. They collectively are called the Wise Woman World. And one of them came to me the other day for some work, and what unfolded was a whole set of understandings about this partnership that could threaten it. And so we did the healing work, which was amazing, and a huge amount of energy release on this one. And there's other two more of them are really involved in this part of that partnership that needs to have that energy released. The other one, just because of where she was flowing in the process of this energy, she is not so in need of this same kind of work. But the other two absolutely need to come and just offload. So sometimes we, the healers, the wise women, the way showers, the light workers, we do need to go to the others for healing work, because we can't always do our own. But I can tell you unequivocally that you have the ability to really work through and release so much of the trauma energy. And remember, you brought in from the ancestors so that you can heal your lineage, which then heals your descendants, those that come from you. And so it is really time for you to own your desire, your ability, your need to heal yourself. And again, that is sometimes seeking out another to help you through that process. And so the last card that coming in is the guidance moving forward. Believe in magic, because if you are believing in the magic of who you are, you're creating more of it for you to live in. You no longer have to be under the subjugation of the powers that were. And as you awaken to that feminine energy, that healing energy, that creation energy, that's what the feminine energy is. That is what is rising. If this way the world has been going has you in a turmoil and a spinning energy, do something creative, whether it's cooking, crocheting, knitting, drawing, writing, doing mandalas, making jewelry, painting pictures, uh, planting a garden. Do something creative that soothes your soul. It calms down your nervous system and it helps you find your balance again. You definitely want to find the balance in yourself, because then again, we move closer to balance in the world, because you're always sharing your energy. If you keep sharing chaotic, fearful energy, you keep propagating more of that. And we really don't need any more of that. We need to come together in balance. So I think we are done with this very pointed and maybe a little harsh message around the corners, that warring message. We are at war with the old way of living in the world. We are at war with the powerlessness message that we've been given, with the unable to handle things message. But we have to do it internally. So go inward. I highly recommend you invite Archangel Michael in. He is the warrior angel, and he can absolutely stand with you as you effort to release things that no longer serve you, your ancestors, or your descendants. Thank you so much for joining me. It's lovely to have you here. Thank you for chiming in the chat and for supporting me through the years. Please share this if you know someone who could benefit from it. I'm Victoria Savage, Nurse Savage, on your side, your wisdom guided oracle. Until we meet again.